Hi, I'm Dr. Saida Desilets, and this video is going to be answering some of the questions that came up in the Journey of Reclamation webinar. And very specifically, I'm going to answer the ones about jade eggs right now. So all your questions, I have them here, ladies, and I'm going to be answering those now. Okay, so here we go. Are there any contraindications to the jade egg practice? Absolutely. They are. There's quite a few, actually. So that's why it's so important for me to do this live with you so you're properly guided through it. You can ask questions and then we can clarify that for you. In fact, the breathing technique for most people won't work for someone, for example, who has an overly tight vagina or a lot of pelvic tension. So I can't say all the contraindications here, but in the course, we definitely clear that up. So if there was a specific one, I could have clarified it, but this is a general question. There definitely are things that do not work well with the jade egg, and you just want to be careful around that. Okay, can the jade egg practice help in releasing deep blocks in the pelvic area? I can say that the jade egg practice can do this, but the use of the egg without really understanding how to use it could actually create more blockages or more tension. So we want to be very careful how we use the egg. And in fact, I usually encourage, so if you were to do this course with me, the first 3 weeks, we don't even use an egg. We're actually preparing the body and the psyche and our whole being for that experience. And so if you have deep blocks, you want to go really slowly. This is how they'll unwind and open. So absolutely you can heal that and transform that, but it needs to be done with care and with professionalism. Okay, I purchased a jade egg quite some time ago and would love to understand and overcome the mental blocks to beginning to use it. This is an amazing question. Again, one of the first things we do in Jade Egg Mastery is we look at everything that we do unconsciously or consciously to self-sabotage. It is so important. So for me to answer this kind of general right now, because I'm not sure exactly what you do or if it's just an aversion to the whole practice. So the first thing we need to look at is, why are you doing it in the first place? And is there a payoff to not having those things that you're going for? For example, some ladies do this so they can be more orgasmic, but there's actually a payoff that they're not orgasmic in their life. So that's one thing. Some people do this because they want to relieve pelvic pain, but actually there's some important reasons why that pain is there. So there might be kind of a confusing signal. Apathy and lack of motivation to actually change isn't always our fault. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's just a habit and a pattern, but sometimes it's a collective thing. Maybe there's shame around being empowered sexually. Maybe there's shame around taking care of yourself or making time for yourself. So we look at all of that in the beginning of the course and make sure that we set you up so that you don't have any blockages and that you're actually very motivated to move through the course. Okay, do you have any suggestions, exercises with the jade egg to connect with creative flow to purposely enhance an artistic endeavor such as singing, performing, burlesque style? Well, what I want to answer for this is, when a woman is able to harness her sexual energy, when she does it consciously, when she's at home in herself, she's living from that sovereign space, she's unstoppable in all the other areas of her life, whether it is an artistic, creative endeavor or it is like a business, teaching people on business. So it's, the whole spectrum. When we are integrated, when we have right relationship, when our sexuality is not this thing that is separate and saved for a moment of doing something about, but we realize we are sexual beings at all times, and this is integrated, then yes, absolutely, we get more inspired, more creative, more centered in ourselves. It's a very powerful practice. When I first started doing this, I went from being very scattered to streamlined and focused and able to create what I love very quickly. So there you have it. Does the jade egg have to be jade? I have 2 larger ones and 1 smaller one. I have 2, 1 larger, 1 smaller one. Neither of them are jade. If you work with me, yes, they need to be jade, and not any jade. They need to be nephrite jade, and they need to have a GIA certification. Here's why. Real nephrite jade is not a crystalline structure. It has interwoven fibers, and so it's very safe. So if you drop it, it won't smash into a bunch of pieces. It won't have cracks that might cut you. There has been known infections with other types of crystals. It's never happened to me in my groups because we don't use those eggs, but they have happened in other groups. I've spoken to some of the leaders of those groups, and that's a common practice for those. So I recommend to use jade. The great thing about jade is it's, like I said, it's tough and it warms to your body very quickly, so it's comfortable. And then the size does matter. If it's too small, you'll be unable to move it around. And same thing if it's too big, which is why I have a very specific size that I recommend for women to use. Does the jade egg really work, or am I so traumatized and shut down that I feel nothing? Interesting question. The jade egg doesn't work. You work. We have to realign our thoughts around this. The jade egg is a tool that you use to enhance and have right relationship with your psychosexual nature. When you use it pelvically, if you have no sensation, that's actually very natural because the jade will warm up to your body temperature and you won't necessarily feel it. But over time, with practice, you're going to start sensing the whole muscular system that's working around the egg. You'll innervate, you'll grow nerves, so you'll have more sensation. But in order to do that, if you've had trauma, we're going to have to move very slowly, and we're going to need to do some cellular repatterning. And that happens before you even introduce an egg. So that's why it's so important, why I'm such a passionate person to invite you to join a well put together course where we can do it live. I can answer your questions and you can pace yourself. Okay, so it does work. I've seen many times work. I've had women who've had, rapes from like a group rape situation, for example, or rape when they were very young, for example. And they've been able to transform and own their full body. But it takes time and gentleness and consciousness, and to actually know what practice to do when. So that's a very important piece. Just popping an egg in isn't going to be that useful to you. Okay, I'm going to keep going with the questions. Let's see, we have a few more here. I have a question regarding the jade egg. I just started my practice and I absolutely cannot feel the egg. Is this temporary? Will I ever feel it? Like I said earlier, it will warm to your body. You will not feel the egg. To this day, I don't feel my egg, but what I do feel, what I developed as an awareness, is a sensation of the pelvic floor and the muscles and the tissues responding to its presence. And that's very exciting, but that takes time and practice. Okay, so it may not happen overnight, and it doesn't mean anything bad about you, and you're definitely not broken if this is happening. What about using a jade egg when you have rectocele? I have a few clients with this, and what's been beautiful is, and they were in the live program last year actually, and what was beautiful about that is we got to support the woman, actually there was a few women, to have a different kind of relationship with the rectocele and have a playful relationship to really understand what was going on anatomically, and then to be able to use the egg. We had to adapt the practice a little bit for them, which was perfect. So, and those women are like really empowered now and feeling actually quite juicy and willing to take a lover, even with the rectocele as what used to be an issue, what used to shut them down, is not shutting them down anymore. So I hope that helps you with that. What are the benefits to using the jade egg? There are many. Let's start with just the physical ones. So we not only get pelvic tone, which is what a lot of people are going for, we get pelvic suppleness, the ability to melt open and soften. This is very, very important for vitality, health, and orgasm. We get dexterity. You want sexual mastery, you want different types of orgasm, dexterity is the key. We have localized production of estrogen. So what happens is you'll lubricate more. Women who've had vaginal dryness have reversed that. Women who have vaginal thinning have reversed that. Women who had painful intercourse were able to have pain-free intercourse. These are physical things that can happen from the practice. Emotionally, psychologically, it's huge because, at least in the way that I teach it, we are building a right relationship with ourselves. We're building a foundation of trust, of respect, of listening, of being aware, of tuning in. And maybe this is the first time we have this level of intimacy with ourselves, okay? So that's just some of the benefits that are going on for the use of the jade egg when it's done properly. What would you recommend for sexually abused women? Which egg? I still would only recommend the jade egg. Here's why. The promises that the crystals are going to heal you is putting your power outside of yourself. In my program, what I'm interested in is that you reclaim your full power. To me, there's no other way to have full transformation on this journey of reclamation, especially post-trauma, unless we reclaim our full power. To give it away to anything, a technique, an egg, a person, is to do disservice to your full transformation, to your full healing. So I recommend jade egg because that's what I used in my body to heal my body. And I recommend using it in the way that I teach it because it's very specific to rewiring the body, repatterning the body, repatterning the cellular memory, for example, of the vagina is a huge one, or of the rectum, or of the labias. So this is very important, and I recommend going slow, very slow, only move as fast as the slowest part of you, actually. Someone asked, where do I get a jade egg from? thejadeegg.com. thejadeegg.com. I sell eggs, and they're there, and it's fantastic. So I think that's it for the egg questions that came up within the webinar. And we definitely, there's a foundation of very powerful practices. And every year I improve on that. That's why the live version is so amazing. So if you haven't yet seen a Journey of Reclamation webinar, click the link that's connected to this video. It will take you there. You can watch it. There's some amazing information, just incredible information. And then join us. Join the Jade Egg Mastery live. It's starting soon. We'd love to see you there. This is a rare event. Live doesn't happen that often. It's really the time to jump in is now. So if you've wanted to do jade egg practice, or you've done it and you're not sure about it, or your egg is collecting dust, this is the time to dust it off, join in, and come on an incredible journey, an impeccable journey with us. I'd love to see you in there, and make sure you click the link. You can watch the webinar again if you haven't seen it, or just join us. Check out the program and join us. I'd love to see you on the inside. Bye.